Hello, everybody, and greetings. Order of the Grid is back with yet another episode. We connect with the personalities who make difference to the society, stand out, and are a source of inspiration to us to all. My name is Prathamesh Masudkar. Today, we have a very special guest with us, Mrs. Veermata Anuradha Gore, the mother of the late Captain Vinayak Gore. She has also spent several books on the life of defense personnel, on their work conditions, and their selfless contribution to the country. Hello, ma'am. How are you?
Fine.
It's a great privilege to have with you on our show. So yeah, let's just get this started. So just tell us about yourself. Like, what were you like as a child growing up? Like, how were your growing up years?
How?
How were your growing up years? Like your childhood?
My childhood. I am from Satara. My native place is Satara. It is a historical place and the capital of Marathas. So the whole atmosphere was like that. And the Bombay people or children can't get the opportunity, but I was very lucky to learn so many things. Swimming, mountaineering was not a problem for us because every Saturday, Sunday, or Monday we have to visit this temple, that temple. It is a city surrounded by 7 hills. And it was very rich childhood, I can say, because my parents were well educated and my school was very good. Not only focused on studies, but they gave us a chance to grow in multiple ways. Just like nowadays we call all-round development. It was possible for me. And reading and all so many things. I have to give the lot of credit to my native place, Satara. Though it is a small place, it is a great place.
So of course you're a teacher. Did you always like as a child, like did you always like wanted to become a teacher? Like was it like something else different?
So not at all. After marriage, I came to Mumbai. Shivaji Park was my destination. Very famous place. Just across the Shivaji Park, I was staying over there. 5 years I spent over there, and it was a very nice time for me because my in-laws were there. My father-in-law insisted me to learn n number of things, so I joined catering college and painting classes and embroidery and all these things. But after 5 years, we shifted to Ville Parle, and then I felt very lonely because growing or living in a joint family was a different thing, and living all alone in a comparatively small house. In the other, we are having very big house, and compared to that, though it was a flat 2 BHK, but still it was a different thing. The atmosphere in Parla was different, and so I decided to complete my studies and join the school. But school was my not first preference. I wanted to work in bank or somewhere else, but my husband insisted because he was on top post, and very often he has to travel a lot. Investment research department. So he insisted me to look after the children. The teaching will be the best option. And luckily, I got the job in Palitrak Vidyalaya, one of the famous school in Marathi medium, prestigious school, 100 years old school. And like that, I started my career as a teacher. I worked in Palitrak Vidyalaya. Then I got an opportunity to work as a headmistress of Raja Ramdev Podar High School. And it was a really very successful career for me because I learned n number of things beyond the syllables. I always used to tell my children and the students to look beyond the syllables and grow more and more and more. Education has no limits. Books and textbooks are only for the help, and I think that made me different. I conducted a number of workshops.
So could you just tell us like which was your first ever subject to teach for children?
First, the subject. I have taught 11th standard also, so accounts, economics. And then later on, the computers were introduced in 1986. So at that time, it was called as a computer studies, but it was called as computer literacy project. So our school was one of the 5 schools selected first in Maharashtra. And I was very, very lucky to get selected as a teacher. I got the training in IIT Powai. and it was a small course. And then TIS was giving us this training, and just like that, I started teaching computers also. Initially, there were small box type computers with double disk drive, and then came the Windows and all that, and then in between Lotus and all that. So throughout, I have passed in all the phases. At present, I'm not having much touch with the computers, but I'm very different. Nowadays, I'm teaching very different thing because after retirement also, I'm not retired. I'm still connected with a number of schools. I teach over there scientific toys. In addition to that, I was very good at drawing. So I teach a punch craft and origami and all that because it gives me the relaxation, and being with the students gives me a lot of joy, lot of joy, lot of joy.
So after when you did your teaching career, how did you got your experience as a principal of a school?
Very wonderful, very wonderful. Because it was a success story, I can say. Fortunately, I was new to that atmosphere, Poddars, new through that atmosphere, but my assistant headmistress and supervisors, staff was very, very cooperative. Poddar had a full faith on me because they, when called me, just came knowing, are you interested in being a headmistress of the school? I said, yes, why not? And interview was just this much. They asked me, why you are leaving Palatial Vidyalaya? My answer was, no, I'm not leaving it at all. I'm very, very happy. But as you have invited me, I should take this opportunity. That's all. I got the appointment letter. So the atmosphere was very, very cooperative. The Podas helped me a lot. Whatever my dreams were fulfilled, I tried to fulfill. And the parents, they were having some different perspective for their students. Rotary Club and Lions Club all helped me a lot. And it was a success story. I got so many awards as a vocational excellence award in that. So it is like that.
Awesome. So the next question is, so now it's, you have now penned with several books on the defense personnel, on the military and army, like, and work conditions. Would you like to elaborate on one book, which is Arok Siachinchi?
Olaf Siachinchi. But before that, I was writing in the newspapers and Diwali columns. I have written so many columns in so many papers. Tarun Bharat, Sakal, Samna, Lok Satta, so many. I was, and I am also a writer for Akashvani, that is All India Radio. So my process of writing was started with newspapers as a column writer. And very wonderful and different type of columns. I am not writing the columns at present. My first book was Varas Ahu Abhimanyu Se. It is regarding the martyrs of Mumbai, because Vinay, my son, who was martyr, is well known now. But it is not the people, other martyrs are not so lucky. So I wanted to focus that. So it was my first book. And Olaf Siachinchi was one of my bestseller books. Varas Abhimanyu Se was also the bestseller book at the time when it was written. At that year, it was the bestseller book. Olaf Siachinchi came very, very late. And I was writing a book on 1971 war. When the book was finished, I visited Kapadiyas. The Kapadiyas stay in Mumbai only. They also lost a son, Nawang Kapadiya, Lieutenant Nawang Kapadiya. Mr. Kapadiya is a well-known, what we can say, he takes the trek in Himalayas, not only in Himalayas, but he's worldwide known figure in mountaineering. So I presented him the book 1971 War, and in the exchange he gave me the book, The Battle of Roses. I completed that book in one go, and I was wondering, it was that book consists of a little bit about Meghdut, but in addition to that, how the Siachen was explored by the Europeans. And it was a fantastic story. So I was wondering how my soldier is fighting over there. It is the hardest, toughest, and coldest battlefield in the world. So how they may be managing it, how it started, what is going on at present. And fortunately, I came across the soldiers and officers beginning from 78, because up to 78, our none of our soldiers visited Siachen. It was just a neglected part. Pakistan was aware of it. After 71, Pakistan was using that particular location as a planned grab area. Because they started sending their army people and foreign nationals give advertisements. Whoever wants to visit Hindu Kush or Karakoram, they should visit. They should call us, take our permission, and we were just neglecting that area. So I got the reference of the people who were serving there. The went over there from 83 to the year I was writing the book. So I got the whole picture how it was processing. The first person who landed over there, how was the n number of things, and so the book came into existence. It's a big book, 450 pages. I was worried who will buy that book and read that book, because Siachen is not a topic. It is not a novel, no. It is not a some. We get a lot of readers for a love story or that, but it's a Siachen. It is a battle story as well as a story of a Kashmir, as well as it is a whole process of all the various operations conducted in Siachen, the personal experiences of the soldiers and officers, how the army works over there, climate, a number of things are there. So my publisher, Granthali, is mainly my publisher. We decided, yeah, at least we will have 500 copies. Let's just see. But on the first day itself, all the copies were sold out. And so it Manohar Parrikar, who was the defense minister at that time, came to inaugurate that book. Initially, he promised that I have a time crunch, so I will give only 10 minutes. But crowd was so much that the Tilak Mandir have experienced it after so many years. Whole ground and all the 3 floors were occupied by the people. The entry was stopped afterwards. So when he saw the whole atmosphere full of what we can say enthusiasm, learning about, knowing about Siachen, and to listen Parrikar, he extended his speech about 1 hour. So it was a very wonderful experience. And I think wherever I go, I meet the people telling me, oh, we have learned it. Because of you, we came across to know how our soldier is fighting on Siachen. At present, now we get a number of clips on Siachen. But at that time, before 8-10 years, it was a novel thing. And because of that book, I got a lot of publicity. It gave me the lot of encouragement to write about the soldiers who are wounded, the families of the soldiers, the lady officers, and a number of things like that. So my journey continues like this. At present, I'm working on different topic, but come on, other question.
So now,
just recently, I have published the book on Kargil. Kargil, it was in 1999, and now 21 years complete. So on that, it is not a war book. War is, of course, included in it, but the martyrs, we know only few names, just like Vikram Batra. But he was not alone. Along with him, thousands and thousands of soldiers and supporting arms were working over there. He was not only one, but another 500 and odd people martyr over there. Hundreds and hundreds were wounded. So the stories of the soldiers and the officers is my main focus. I want to bring into light that thing. Kargil is not only a small war. It was played throughout, the area was spread all over. And how it was fought, very wonderful war. And the world was just observing it. The war played on the highest mountains in Kargil. Very tough war, very tough war, very tough war, but we won it.
So just like, now this the next question is, just tell us about your son, the late Captain Vinayak Gore, who laid down his life for the country. Would you tell us something about him?
Yes, what can I say? He was a hero, and he is the role model for a number of youngsters at present, because actually he gave me the, what we can say, after his death, my life was just sample like anything. But he gave me the mission because he wanted the youngsters to join the army. He was very clever, very clever, very clever, well read. From the childhood, he was what we can say, cycling, swimming. He was playing hockey, football. Himalaya, Manali. That I sent him to Manali when he was in sixth standard. Then full Sahyadri. He, along with his friends, uh, almost visited all the peaks of the Sahyadris. Very good at mathematics, very good looking. His eyes were very bright and just capturing the attraction. He was very good vocabulary and a good orator. So when he was here, he was posted in first Punjab, then Kashmir. He was in 31 medium. But whenever he was in Mumbai, he was visiting n number of colleges. And nowadays also you can see the groups of the youngsters just standing on the corners and chit chatting. So he was just visiting them and knowing that he's a army officer. The youngsters were just gathering about him, and he was telling them, inspiring them to join the army. It was the same motive. Not only that, but at that time, our Indian government was not ready that something is happening in Kashmir, because a lot of Afghanis and foreign mercenaries were present in Kashmir, and it was called as Operation Rakshak, against whom the operation was conducted by the army. It was called as flush out the terrorists. But government support was not there. It was very difficult time, and that is why, to encourage, to know the people of the society on the top must know it. So he was visiting n number of places. He was always telling, though I am in Mumbai, I am on mission Kashmir. So what was his mission Kashmir? I don't know what exactly, but afterwards, so many journalists, so many known people came to my house, and they were telling that we met him. How? So just they were narrating, we had a communication, that's all. But though he was here on what we can say live, he was always thinking about the Kashmir and the plight of the Kashmiris Pandit, because in 90s only Kashmiri Pandits were driven out by the this militant or Pakistani people out of the valley, and he was experiencing all that. So it was a very painful process for an army person who is serving over there. He was very sensitive, and he was not allowed to speak anything about it to us. But his what we can say, मराठी में हम बोलते हैं घुटन महसूस होती है. So just like that, he was feeling was like that, and he was encouraging the people to join the army. So after his death, I took up it as a mission to tell the youngsters what is the army, navy, and air force. Yeah, joining the army, joining the forces is not equal to the death. And though the death visits you, it is honored death, not a common people, common man living in a bed or having a heart attack and after suffering, dying. It is not like that. The whole nation salutes you. So it is very honorable death. So it became the mission of my life. I owe to my son a lot. I think I'm very fortunate to have a son like him. I'm very fortunate to have a son like him.
So even in Vileparle, there is also a flyover named on him. So how did you feel like there's a flyover named for him?
There is not only a flyover in Vileparle, there is one gym. Gym is there. There is Vachanalaya, not in only Vileparle. In Goega, I don't know who the people are, but they are having the trust on his name, and they do a lot of social work. There is cricket matches are held in his name. In this Karnala, there is a park, and the name to that entrance is given after him. In Thane, there is a road called as Captain Vinayak Road. And yes, there's so many things. So many people spontaneously gave the scholarships in his name. So many, so many. So I can say there is a road also, flyover also. Regarding the flyover also, there is a great story. It was decided to name the flyover after his name. And then the Mahasaheb Thackeray expired, and some people were telling that Mahasaheb ka naam dena chahiye. So all the parliaments came together, and within one night they collected lakhs of signatures and presented to Mahasaheb Thackeray. Saif Thackeray respected their feeling and told, "Don't worry, the name will be given of your young captain only." And so it is like that. But when I cross the bridge, I always feel, does the really all citizens deserve the sacrifice like my son or the other youngsters who are sacrificing for the country? Because at present the politics is more important, the nation and the nation first theory as on the back foot, and everything is running after the money. We don't know our history, we don't know our culture, and so many bad things are going on in the society, and nobody like to obey the rules. Each and everyone wants to disobey the rule. Not only that, but the martyrs family must get the respect, but the people take the disadvantage of our loneliness, and that is the most saddest part for me, not only for me but all the martyr families, that the citizens are supposed to look after the families of the martyrs, but it never happens like that, and that is the painful thing for me.
Absolutely, ma'am. Absolutely. So, if you had to guide, like, what kind of advice would you like to give to the youth of this country who want to join with defense forces like army, navy, or any other fields in the defense
See,
background?
yeah, along with army, navy, and air force, there are allied services also. But first of all, the parents should be aware of it. And just like in some of the areas of UP or Himachal Pradesh, their first and last option is joining the Army, Navy, and Air Force. It should be like that. Not only that, but whichever profession they will choose, the nation first should not be forgotten by them. Thirdly, I think some sort of just like NCC training or 1 or 2 years. It is compulsory in Singapore. In America, when you are studying in Christian colleges where the education is totally free, then they have to devote at least few years for the army or for the social work. The same thing should be here. The people learn over there, they get free education throughout the life, and then they desert the country. Not only that, but they forget that they got the education only due to the what we can say, the amount we are paying as a taxation. They forget it. So it should not happen. Nation first should be the theory. At present, n number of forces within the country and outside the country are trying to break the India. Trying to break the India. I'm telling it with the confidence because last few years I'm working on forgotten kings and kingdoms of India. And the freedom struggle, we only consider freedom struggle with only British. It is not like that. We have to struggle with the Greek, Shak, Kushan, Hun, Turk, Afghan, Mughal, n number of people we have to fight, and we gave the fight, tough fight, but it is not told who were the conqueror, Indian conquerors. The history is taught in a wrong way, and I think that because of my little bit study about this topic, I'm very, very feeling that it should be taught in our country, not as a full topic, but various medias. This should be reached to the people. How our queens fought, how our kings fought, who was there to. We know about the what defeat of our kings, but when they won the war, we are not told about that. Not only that, but a fabricated history is told. Qutub Minar, it is not the Minar built by Qutub Shah. It was Varaha Mir's that observatory. And the proofs are there. Taj Mahal is not a Taj Mahal, it was a Tejo Mahal, because there are no accounts, no amount spent on the building of the Taj Mahal. Only they changed the name, like just like that. There was one king, just like Mahabharat, he got to Suhail Dev configuration, and he gave the fight, but his name is not there, but Bakhtiyar Khilji's name is there. Actually, Bakhtiyar Khilji is the person who destroyed our n number of universities. Not of I'm not, India was not illiterate. When the first British school was started in 1829 or something like that in Britain, in India we were having more than 73 lakhs small schools or gurukuls in India. In addition to that, there are universities, various topics were taught, Take for example our mandirs. Best example of a building this what we can say Jyotish, Ganit, Rajya Shastra, Kavya, Vinod. We were just like a golden era for India, but it is not taught to us. So I think it school is not the only media to get knowledge about it. You are having the mobiles and laptops. Use it instead of only watching the web series prepared by Kapoor that our Bollywood stars, and they should use the time for that. Again, I will tell all the students and all the young generation, vacation is for the enjoyment. It is not for the enjoyment. It is the time to learn more and more beyond the textbooks. Learning is not a tiring process. It is not a boring process. But what you are learning is more important. If you confine your studies only to the study books, limited portion, limited topic, limited question and answers, then it will be boring. But if you go beyond that, it is not like that. Not only that, but it is a lifelong process. At this age also, say after I have crossed 70, I'm still learning because without learning, you can't achieve anything. So I will give advice to all the students, be a student always and every time. And nation first should be the goal of each and every child. Whichever field you go, it is not necessary that each and everyone should join the armed forces. It's not possible also. But wherever you the nation first, you should never forget. Because if the nation is not there, some social society is not there, you are meaningless. Your presence is meaningless. And nowadays, that Gazwa Hind is going on in the long run. So we have to be very aware. This क्या बोलते हैं जो आक्रमण होता है, अटैक होता है, is not only on the borders. Just I told you वेब सीरीज हो और वेरियस ये जो पाउडर मिलती है और व्यसन होते हैं, all these are also the way to distract love jihad and all so many things are there. So the youngsters should be very aware of it, and they should be more focused on their aim. And what was the glory, past glory, just like Vivekananda was telling that we have to take our India to that height. It should be their aim. They have the capacity. They have the capacity. You can have n number of examples of youngsters doing the various types of things, various fields, and they are achieving like anything. Means sometimes we fail to understand what they are doing because our world is different. But they are doing very great job, very great job, very great job. So I'm just awareing them. I'm not undermining them at all. They have great potential, great capacity, and they should prove themselves to be the great, not only the great. They should always think that others should follow me. I will not follow others. Yeah, I have to follow others, but others should follow me. So they have to reach up to that height that, yes, I am on the top of the world, and it is not impossible for anybody.
Absolutely, ma'am. So just
A
a
lot of hopes are there from the youngsters.
so just a few questions. So you have also recently started your YouTube channel.
Yes.
Just tell us about this YouTube channel. Like, how did you get started with this YouTube channel?
It got started like that, and that initially I was telling whenever I visit n number of people, this number of people invite me for the lectures. So I was telling the stories of Naga Bhatta 1 and 2 and Raja Dahir and all that. And just one, I made small video and sent to my near and dear friends. And one of my student who is a retired wing commander, he said, madam, we have never learned these stories. So why can't we have the YouTube? So he started the YouTube. Now I have some few subscribers also. In addition to that, in this lockdown period, Corona period, it was a great help because I could communicate. Not only that, but as I told you, I'm still connected with the school. So for the that was YouTube. I was making the videos for the YouTube of the Parle Tilak Vidyalaya. Self study technique. How to study of your own. There is no need of means the teachers are there only for the guidance. The textbooks are for their guidance. But there are the techniques, and if you know those techniques, then the study is very easy. So I started in that. So it was for the secondary school. So I am connected with the primary schools also. So the primary teachers approached me and they told me, "Oh, madam, for what we are doing for our students." So at that time, I was telling 3 stories in a week. Now, last few months, I have changed the pattern. On every Saturday, I tell the story about a freedom pride. इसवी सन पूर्व 3,324. The first Greek, that Alexander the Great, he came to India. He was not great, but let call him Alexander the Great as others call it. Minus इसवी सन पूर्व 324. He invaded India. So I started from that Greek, Shak, Bhushan, like that, and now I have come up to Portuguese because we gave the fight against the Portuguese also, Dutch also, and we don't know much about it because those fights were given by the South, not by the North. And in addition to that, on every Wednesday, I tell the stories of other people, means the people who are working for the sparrow, the person who saved the sparrows, the person Kama Kera, one man army, but he dug the whole mountain was converted into hill, green hill, and he created the chain of a small, what we can say, we can't call it as a big dams or like that, but he created like that. There is a person in Brahmaputra, he created a jungle, Lady Tarzan. And today I told the story of the well-known figure, our संरक्षण, ये जो है केंद्रीय मंत्री का अजीत डोवाल. So Operation Black Thunder, what it was a Black Thunder, Operation Black Thunder. Very few people know about it, but how he worked over there, because he was in Pakistan also for 6 years, working as a spy. But here, so in India also, it was a great achievement that 200 this Khalistani, they surrender to government of India, and it is due to the Dowal, how he as a rickshaw driver went over there. It was just like what we can say, हम मराठी में उसको बोलते हैं सिंहाचा, means lions केव में जाने के जैसे था. तो भी he worked over there, he went over there, and then he a wonderful story. So I tell stories like this on every Wednesday. It is loaded on the YouTube. Along with that, I choose one poem or something poetic, means not poem always, but picture song hoga, kuch bhi hoga, which is related to the story. So it goes on. I send it to the करीब 19 schools and 63 teachers. They again forward it to their teachers, their colleagues, and take for example, if I send a video to Palghar, one school, then that school sent it to the other schools. If I send a video to the Konkan school, then that sent to other schools. So just like that, I think whole Maharashtra, uh, not I can say whole, but all many students got, because there was nothing to learn more, and no reading was not possible, but it was one of the avenue, and I think myself that God gave me a great opportunity to all the students are just like my grandkids. So I could meet the grandkids and tell them the stories like that, different type of stories, light stories. Ajit Doval is for little bit older children, but sometimes the small stories are also told by me, but
So,
not the stories which are written in the book, because I have, what we can say, my own experiences with the students. I have written the book for that what we can say, there is one, the first premier of Maharashtra, Kherwadi. So Kherwadi, they are having some different type of courses. So I have written a book on them also. So n number of stories, n number of experiences are with me. So I convert it into just Ajab Gajab Ghar, n number of things.
so what is your goal for your channel? Like,
Goal means I am also working for Voice of Mumbai also. On Voice of Mumbai, it is a political platform. Just recently, my video made on Afghan, but it was not Afghan story, Gandhari, Mahabharat ki Gandhari. She gave a sharp to her brother Shakuni, that your Gandhar will never have a peace and prosperity. because you killed the Kaurav Kula. And it is from not only now, but generation to generation, the Afghan is suffering because of Gandhari. That whole story I was narrated, and it went very, very wide. Then Operation Badra, that was also a very widely circulated video. So just like that, why the mandirs are closed? That is my problem, because all the mandirs are not at all having the crowd. Because I believe in God. हम बोलते हैं कि एक पेड़ का पन्ना भी उसके बिना नहीं हिलता है. So what we achieve. So like that, I made some. There was a discussion going on after whom the Navi Mumbai airport should be named, Bal Thackeray or Diba Patil. But who is Diba Patil? We don't know. So I made a video on that. Who is Diba Patil? It was not my means. I am not going to suggest anybody to give this name or that name. But Balasaheb Thackeray is a known figure, but Diba Patil is not known figure, unknown figure. So who is he? So just like that, just to educate the people more and more. As I told you, education is a lifelong process. So just like that, in the form of stories, not getting very complicated things or dragging things. A story lightly told and simple language, small sentences, so anybody can understand it.
Okay, so before
The
we
name of
just
the channel is just like Anuradha Gore only. If you type the name Anuradha Gore, that initially you will get n number of videos loaded by somebody else, different organizations or n number Sahyadri Vahini or Z News, my interviews, and after that my channel, you will get a channel like that.
Before we finish off, like, do you have any future, any upcoming projects which you like to share, or if you can tell any upcoming projects?
Yeah, as I told you that this is the thing, no, Unforgotten Kings and Kingdoms and the Freedom Struggle. It will be in 4 volumes. 4 volumes I'm talking about, and I want to complete that 4 volumes. Amrut Mahotsavi Varsha hai ye. So few books, few volumes will be published next coming 15 August, and next 15 August there will be remaining work will be done. After that, I am having pending work. Vikram Batra's father has sent me his book on Vikram Batra, his son, and he has asked me to translate it into Marathi. Then we don't know much about the Shanti Sena in Ceylon. Maratha Paltan was there, so they have given me a book, and I want to translate it into. That is my pending work. In addition to that, what the armed forces people do after retirement is unknown. We don't know anything about them. But at very young age, they retire from the Army, Navy, or Air Force, and they have a very bright career. So one of the group approached me, and in that program, they introduced me to n number of industrialists, business people. Some of them have become now judge and all that things. And they were telling me, write about us, because people get confused. What do we do after the retirement? Early age we retired, so what we do? So that is also my one of the coming project. I don't know when I will complete it. Lot of pending work is there. Time is limited for me, but I hope it will be get completed by the God. God is great.
Well, thank you so much for being a part of our show. It was a great privilege to have with you.
Wishing you all the best, and your channel also.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Before you leave, like, where can the people can find you on social media? Do you have anything like any social media?
Social media means only YouTube, nothing else, because I don't have much time to be on the Facebook or something like that. So that is the only YouTube they can get connected with me. Or if somebody is staying in or with specific reason, not only to having a chat with ma'am. No, I don't have a time, that much time. But if they want to ask me, if they want to share me, then I'm always there with for anybody. I always get n number of guests in my house. So my house is open for all, but with the intention of something knowing about it, not just to pass the time. Madam ke baad jata hai, gappa maarte hain. No, I don't have that much time for me. So anybody can approach me for any sort of help. I'm always there.
You can follow us on Instagram, which is the Order of the Grid, and also on Facebook. We are also on YouTube and SoundCloud also. And now we are also doing it on Spotify, which is coming soon. Well, once again, Jai Hind and Namaskar. This is Prathamesh Masurkar from Order of the Grid signing off.